würde ich sagen, wir fangen einfach mal schon an, oder? Könnt ihr mich hören? Mein Name ist Hans-Jakob Schmidt und ich würde gerne eine Unterhaltung führen.
Can I hold it like this so that people can hear you better?
I think that's perfect. Let's do that. I want you to take a moment to imagine yourself coming to yourself. And you can smell wax polish scenting the space. I need you to accept that you're alone in a space.
I could start walking into the darkness to see if a door or an opening appears, or keep looking at the mirror wall where
You're in a corner and you can only make a right.
am I living?
I mean, this is a hypothetical.
There's these prompts that are sort of shipping labels with a year on them. I'm gonna ask you to pick one. It allows us to navigate through the history of German and Greece on both a cultural and political level. I think it also allows us to navigate through the history of documentas, and I hope it can prompt some discussions as well if we feel like. So, thanks a lot.
The screen you see behind me is a video taken outside the cemetery. From my conversation with people from the museum, I learned that Chemnitz was bombed even more than Dresden. In the 50s, the city was completely destroyed. As such, the play aired within a television frame to simulate a live broadcast. In their view, a kind of desire for escapism. When I think of Dresden, of Chemnitz in this situation, I also want to be a cosmonaut. I want to take a space rocket and run away to the imagination as far as possible. Okay, thank you.
I'm looking into the artistic practice of Manfred Butzmann. I think this is not just speaking on how Manfred Butzmann actually saw the world, but that's also, I guess, a bit how Manfred Butzmann was inside the GDR. I think there was always a bit resistance towards the world and things he was doing. He had like his own way of thinking, and for this he kind of used like a photography and as his own practice, and also stood in the way. And after this also Manfred Butzmann wasn't allowed to do exhibitions, but I think he should tell you yourself.
Diese Berührung mit der Macht, die dann wirklich entscheiden kann, der darf ein Plakat drucken oder nicht, die kann auch krank machen.
That would be also something I would like to talk with you. Social media today is a place where a lot of political discussions are also held. What is allowed and what is not allowed, and be present in digital space.
Hi everyone. Welcome to this lecture on Signs of Solidarity and Traces of Togetherness in the global network of mail art, which is what you see here. I invite you to explore some of these objects with me. I will be sharing a few associations on the postcards that you can see in this display. I will describe the postcards and tell the stories behind them, and thus I will try to recreate the artistic atmosphere that their creators shared at the time.
In July, as part of Transkulturelle Akademie's field trip, we visited the Menschen anschauen exhibition at Dresden City Museum. The show reflected on the human zoo at the Dresden Zoological Garden between 1878 and 1934. This human exhibition served and created images of the colonial other that still have an effect today in racist cliches and ideas of the us and the other. How do we translate them into other contexts, into other life experiences? As someone from a minority ethnic background, I'm quite used to implicit forms of everyday racism and how a discourse of inclusiveness and diversity is used to undermine this unspoken discrimination.
Please, when you're reading, take your time, read slowly. Stop. Shall we begin?
Thanks to photography, images of colonized lands and peoples were now available for the citizens of colonial powers to contemplate, allowing them to articulate the idea of difference visually.
Photographic archive is a stolen archive. Innumerable images of the visual geographies of indigenous people are recast into a vision where only the colonizer sees.
Therefore, to write a history that breaks free of the sovereign imagination requires the historian to search for other types of source materials, such as personal papers, family documents, memoirs, and photographs.
Whose Heimat? Finding Alienation, a transcultural collection exploration. Can Heimat be in a foreign country? Certainly. Besides, what does all this have to do with dignity? I ask myself whether museums want to remain connected to the concept of Heimat. How do we follow the urgent appeal of the book, Your Heimat is Our Nightmare? Or is it about time to reframe this whole concept of Heimat? Either way, I feel one thing's for sure, it's high time for more alienation. Thank you.
Werner Schmidt, who was an art historian, a collector of art, and an ex-director of Kupferstich Cabinet, and later the SKD. The accepting of different types of formalities was part of his success and his job. In collective memory of SKD institution, Werner Schmidt still exists like a heroic figure. For instance, used different delicate manipulations to obtain to the museum collection work by the artists that were not approved by the official purchasing commission. I don't think that Werner Schmidt was a dissident, but type of complicated cultural person. That is interesting point to think about culture in authoritarian systems, because I suppose that many things were made there and are doing now because of this joy. When you find ways to avoid the rules, that is actually quite dangerous joy and quite dangerous pleasure, because it is really great. Like, okay, I find an opportunity.
The Soviet states in general and East Germany in particular had put before themselves a Sisyphus task.
I wonder what is the point of art in the first place if it is accepted to be state-driven, ideologically monolithic and aesthetically plain. Would it not be better to abolish art altogether and let industrial machine produce what is expected to be art?
When the objects dream of us, land moves, time passes, the stories scroll over the skins of the dead. Why do you dream then, like a stone? Why are you stuck then? When is your mouth open? Where is the scream? Stone cold. Are you dreaming as that object?
still coming.